I-38 male. Came home from a 2-week work trip to find my garage empty. Not just organized differently, completely empty. 6 vintage cars I'd been restoring for the past decade gone. My wife, Bianca, 36, was sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop, grinning like she'd just won the lottery. Surprise. I finally dealt with your hoarding problem. My what? All those rusty cars taking up the garage. I donated them to charity. We'll get such a nice tax write-off this year. The Children's Foundation was so grateful. I stood there processing. My 67 Mustang Fastback, the 71 Plymouth Cuda, the 69 Dodge Charger, the 70 Chevelle SS, the 73 Porsche 911 Carrera RS, the 69 Camaro Z28. You donated my cars. Don't be dramatic. They were just sitting there collecting dust. Bianca, those were restoration projects. I've been working on them for years. She rolled her eyes. Please, you barely touched them. I did us both a favor. Now we can actually use the garage for normal cars like adults. I sat down slowly. Show me the donation receipt. She pulled up a PDF on her laptop, still smiling. See? The Helping Hands Children's Foundation. They said the cars would be auctioned for charity. We can claim the full value. The receipt showed 6 vintage vehicles, estimated value $30,000. I almost laughed. $30,000. Total. I know. More than I expected for that junk. How generous of you. When did they pick them up? Yesterday morning. They were so efficient. Great. I need to make a call. I went to my office and called my insurance company first. Yes, the cars were still on my policy. Yes, I had recent appraisals for insurance purposes. Yes, I'd email them immediately. Then I called my lawyer. Then I called the auction house that had appraised my collection 6 months ago. By the time I came back downstairs, I had everything I needed. Bianca, need to show you something. I pulled up the appraisal documents on my phone. This is from Haggerty's, the classic car valuation experts. From 6 months ago, 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback, restored $385,000. 1971 Plymouth Cuda, numbers matching, restored $450,000. 1969 Dodge Charger R/T, restored $420,000. 1970 Chevelle SS 454, frame-off restoration, $380,000. 1973 Porsche 911 Carrera RS, authentic, restored $485,000. 1969 Camaro Z28 DZ302, restored $315,000. Total collection value, $2,435,000. The color drained from her face. That's impossible. They were rusty. They were in climate-controlled storage under custom covers. What you saw as rust was original patina on parts one hadn't restored yet. But the charity said, the charity? Let me guess, someplace you found online. She nodded weakly. I pulled up my laptop. Interesting. The Helping Hands Children's Foundation was registered 3 weeks ago. The address they gave? It's a warehouse owned by Premier Auto Exports. Want to guess what they do? I don't. They ship cars overseas. Quickly. Your charity was a front for car thieves. But I have a receipt for $30,000, which you'll have to claim on our taxes. For property you didn't own. What do you mean I didn't own? The cars were titled in my name only. Purchased before our marriage with inheritance from my grandfather. You had no legal right to donate them. We're married. What's yours is mine. Not in this state. Not for premarital assets kept separate. Her phone rang. She looked at the caller ID. It's Curtis. My CPA. Better answer that. She put it on speaker. Big mistake. Bianca, we have a serious problem. I just got notification from the IRS about your charitable donation. Yes, the car's dash. You claimed a $30,000 deduction for donated vehicles. But the IRS received documentation showing the actual value was over $2.4 million. You're liable for the difference in taxes, plus penalties for false valuation. How much? She whispered. Roughly $2.3 million. Plus potential fraud charges if they think you intentionally undervalued them. She hung up. This can't be happening. Oh, it is. And here's the best part. Since you illegally disposed of my property, you're also liable for the full value in civil court. My lawyer will be in touch. Update 1. So Bianca went through the narcissist's prayer at record speed. That didn't happen, right arrow, and if it did, it wasn't that bad, right arrow, and if it was, it's not a big deal, right arrow, and if it is, it's not my fault, right arrow, and if it was, I didn't mean it, right arrow, and if I did, you deserved it. First, she tried denying everything, claimed I was making up the values. I showed her the insurance policies I'd been paying for years, with agreed values for each car. Then she tried minimizing. It's just cars. We have savings. Our savings? About $180,000 combined, against a $2.3 million tax bill. Then came blame shifting. She called her mother Dolores, putting her on speaker without telling me. Mom, he's trying to ruin me over some stupid cars. What cars, honey? Bianca explained her version, that she'd cleaned the garage and I was being vindictive. Dolores went quiet. Then, Bianca Marie, please tell me you didn't touch the vintage cars. You knew about them. Everyone knew about them. He's been restoring them since before you met. I've seen him work on them every weekend. You helped him organize parts last Christmas. I thought they were junk. The Porsche? The one he drove to your cousin's wedding? That was junk. Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that. Bianca had specifically asked me to drive the 911 to make her cousin jealous. Spent the whole reception bragging about our classic car. Dolores hung up on her own daughter. Then came the bargaining. Bianca tried everything. Can't we just tell them it was a mistake? Can't you just buy them back? Can't we claim they were stolen? Can't you tell the IRS you donated them? No, and definitely no. But the real entertainment started when she realized I was serious about divorce. You can't divorce me over this. You gave away $2.4 million of my property. I didn't know. You knew they were mine. You know I worked on them. You knew I cared about them. You just didn't care. She tried to stay in the house that night. I reminded her that the house was also premarital property. Mine. She could pack a bag and leave, or I could have her removed for theft. Her choice. She left, but not before trying one last manipulation. I'm pregnant. No, you're not. How would you know? Your birth control pills are still in the medicine cabinet. Today's pill is missing. Unless you're claiming immaculate conception. She slammed the door so hard the frame cracked. That night, I got 73 texts. They ranged from, "Baby, please, let's talk about this. You're overreacting. I'll kill myself if you leave me. You always loved those cars more than me. I hope you crash your stupid cars. No one will ever love you like I do." I responded once. "Your tax bill is due in 90 days. Better start liquidating assets." Update 2. The next morning, Bianca hired a lawyer. Not a tax lawyer or a criminal defense lawyer, a divorce lawyer. Because priorities. Her lawyer, some guy named Bradley, called me with the confidence of someone who hadn't been briefed properly. "My client is willing to forgive your emotional response to her innocent mistake if you agree to counseling." Forgive me? She owes the IRS $2.3 million for fraudulently donating my property. Allegedly. Not allegedly. I have the donation receipt she signed. The IRS has it too. Long pause. "I'll call you back." He didn't. Instead, Bianca tried a new strategy, public humiliation. She posted on social media about how I was choosing cars over family and abandoning her in her time of need. The comments were brutal. Her cousin, "Didn't you brag about those cars at my wedding?" Her coworker, "Girl, you posted pics sitting on the Mustang last month." Her best friend, "You literally told me you did it to teach him a lesson." Wait, what? I reached out to her best friend, Qley. Turns out, Bianca had been planning this for weeks. She was mad that I'd spent a weekend at a car show instead of going to her sister's baby shower. This was revenge. Qley sent me screenshots. "Bianca, he'll learn not to prioritize his toys over me." "Bianca, can't wait to see his face when he realizes they're gone." "Bianca, maybe now he'll pay attention to me instead of those stupid cars." I forwarded everything to my lawyer and the IRS fraud department. Then things got really interesting. The charity she donated to, they'd already been flagged by the FBI for theft and fraud. Turns out, they've been running this scam for months, convincing people to donate vehicles for tax write-offs, then shipping them overseas for massive profits. An FBI agent actually came to my house. "Mr. Rodriguez, we need information about your wife's involvement with this organization. She's my soon-to-be ex-wife, and I'll tell you everything I know." The agent took notes as I explained the whole situation. Then he dropped a bomb. "We've recovered one of your vehicles." "Which one?" "The Porsche. It was in a shipping container headed to Dubai. The others were still searching. 1 out of 6. Better than nothing. Your wife might be looking at criminal charges too. She signed documents claiming to be the legal owner." "Good." That afternoon, Bianca's mom Dolores called me. "Daniel, I'm mortified. I raised her better than this. I thought you did too. Is there anything I can do?" "Honestly, just stay out of it. This is between her and me, the IRS, and now the FBI." "The FBI?" "The charity was a fraud ring." "Oh my God. Is she going to prison?" "That's for the courts to decide." Dolores started crying. "I know she's my daughter, but you didn't deserve this. Those cars were your grandfather's legacy. Thank you for saying that. For what it's worth, her father and I aren't helping her financially with this mess she created. That was something, at least." Update 3. Remember how I said Bianca was mad about me missing her sister's baby shower for a car show? Well, her sister Adriana reached out with some tea. "Daniel, you need to know something. Bianca wasn't even in my baby shower." "What?" "She was in wine country with her book club. I have the Instagram posts. She sent me screenshots. While I was at a car show Bianca had guilt-tripped me about missing her sister's shower for. She was actually wine tasting with someone named Jeffrey. Lots of cozy photos." "Who's Jeffrey?" "Her investment advisor. He's been helping her build her portfolio." I did some digging. Jeffrey wasn't an investment advisor. He was a personal trainer turned crypto bro who sold wealth-building courses online. His LinkedIn was a masterpiece of buzzword soup. I checked our financial records. Bianca had been moving money from her personal account to something called Infinity Wealth Ventures. A quick Google search. It was Jeffrey's company. She'd invested $50,000 over the past 6 months. I call my lawyer. This keeps getting better. But wait, there's more. The IRS Criminal Investigation Unit wanted to meet. Not just about the tax fraud, about the whole charity scam. They believe Bianca might have been in on it. "Why would you think that?" I asked the investigator. "The charity was registered 3 weeks before your wife donated the vehicles. The only other donations they received were from 2 other women in your wife's social circle." "What?" "Both women donated their husband's assets. Classic cars, boats, motorcycles. All significantly undervalued. All the husbands were out of town during the donations. You think they planned this together? We're investigating that possibility." Holy shit. This wasn't just revenge. This was organized fraud. The investigator continued. "One of the women already flipped. Rebecca Thornton? She says your wife organized everything. Introduced them to the charity, told them how to handle the donations, even gave them the timeline when you'd be traveling." Rebecca Thornton. I knew that name. She was in Bianca's wine club. Her husband posted last month about his vintage boat going missing. Rebecca's looking at reduced charges for cooperation. Your wife, she's looking at serious time. That evening, Bianca showed up at the house with Jeffrey. This walking YouTube ad in a tight polo actually tried to intimidate me. "Bro, you need to chill with this whole divorce thing. Bianca made a mistake." "Are you seriously in my house right now?" "I'm here as her advisor." Her advisor who she's been giving money to. Jeffrey's confident facade cracked. "That's between us. Actually, it's between you, her, and the bankruptcy court she's about to be in. She owes the IRS $2.3 million. How's that for financial advice?" Bianca jumped in. "Jeffrey says we can fight this." "With what money? The $50,000 you gave him? The equity you don't have in my house? Your salary from the job you're about to lose?" "Oh yeah, forgot to mention, Bianca worked for a financial planning firm. They weren't thrilled about the IRS fraud investigation." Jeffrey started backing toward his Tesla, of course. "I think you two need to talk privately." "Don't worry, Jeffrey. I'm sure the FBI will want to talk to you publicly. You knew about the charity scheme, right?" He practically ran to his car. Bianca tried one more manipulation. "I only did this because you ignored me. You committed fraud because I went to a car show. You love those cars more than me. Now I don't have the cars or you." Guess we both lost. She called me a monster and left. But not before trying to take the espresso machine. I reminded her it was purchased after separation. She left it but took all the coffee pods out of spite. Joke's on her. I drink tea. Final update. The dominoes fell fast. First, Rebecca Thornton's husband found out about the wine country trips. Turns out, the book club was really Jeffrey's client appreciation events. All the women were married. All were secretly investing their family money with him. All were more than clients. Jeffrey's actual girlfriend found out. Posted everything on TikTok. His wealth-building empire collapsed in 48 hours. Last I heard, he fled the state. Second, the FBI recovered 3 more of my cars. The Mustang, the Charger, and the Camaro were in a warehouse waiting to be shipped. The Cuda and the Chevelle were already gone, sold to collectors in Japan. I'll get insurance payouts for those, but it still hurts. Those cars were irreplaceable. Third, Bianca's criminal trial was swift. The evidence was overwhelming. Text messages planning the scheme. Bank records showing kickbacks from the fake charity. Rebecca's testimony that Bianca organized everything. The fact that she'd researched charity fraud penalties on her work computer 2 days before donating my cars. She got 18 months in federal prison, 3 years. Probation and restitution to all victims, including me. The divorce was finalized while she was inside. She got nothing except her clothes and personal items. She actually tried to claim alimony from prison. The judge laughed. Actually laughed. The IRS civil case was worse for her. They don't play. The $2.3 million bill stood, plus penalties and interest. She'll be paying it off for the rest of her life. Bankruptcy doesn't discharge tax fraud debt. Her family completely cut her off. Dolores sent me a Christmas card apologizing again. Adriana testified against her own sister at the trial. Even her dad, who'd been silent through everything, sent me a check for $5,000 with a note for the Chevelle. I know it was your favorite. I'm sorry. I kept the check uncashed. Framed it instead. It wasn't his fault. The best part? The prison she's in has an automotive repair program for inmates. She has to work in the garage, maintaining vehicles. The guard who told me this said she tried to refuse and got put in solitary. Now, she changes oil and rotates tires 5 days a week. Karma's a manual transmission, and Bianca never learned to drive stick. Where am I now? I used the insurance money to buy another Chevelle. It's not the same. That one had my grandfather's initials carved into the glove box from when he built it, but it's close. I'm dating a woman named Louise who thinks the whole story is insane. She's a mechanic. We met at a car show. She owns a '68 Corvette that would make you weep. When I told her about Bianca, she said, anyone who doesn't understand what these cars mean doesn't deserve to be in your passenger seat. She gets it. I still have the Porsche they recovered. I'll never sell it. It's my reminder that when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Bianca showed me she valued control and revenge over respect and partnership. The other recovered cars are being restored again. The Mustang needs a new paint job thanks to the FBI's handling, but she'll be perfect again soon. Sometimes I get letters from Bianca in prison. I don't open them. My lawyer files them as evidence in case she tries anything when she gets out. Her fellow inmates apparently call her Hot Wheels because she cries every time she has to work on cars. A guard friend tells me she has pictures of my cars taped to her cell wall, not as motivation, but as a reminder of what her entitlement cost her. $2.4 million in cars. $2.3 million in tax debt. 18 months of freedom. Her career. Her family. Her marriage. Her reputation. All because she wanted to teach me a lesson about attending a car show. Expensive lesson. For her. Me? I learned too. I learned to protect what matters. I learned that someone who claims to love you but destroys what you love doesn't actually love you at all. And I learned that sometimes the best revenge isn't planned. It's just letting entitled people face the natural consequences of their actions. The IRS doesn't care about your sob story. The FBI doesn't care that you were feeling ignored. And classic cars don't care about your power plays. They'll outlast us all. I'm rebuilding my collection. Louise is helping. We spend weekends at car shows and weeknights in the garage. She taught me to weld properly. I taught her about carburetor tuning. We're happy. Bianca gets out in 8 months. She'll be 38, broke, convicted felon, with massive debt and no prospects. I'll be at car show, probably not thinking about her at all. Living well isn't the best revenge. Living free of toxic people is. Peace out, Reddit. I'm going to go work on my charger. Victory hand. Edit. Stop asking if Louise is single. She's not. Also, stop asking for Bianca's prison address. Let's not. Edit 2. To the person who messaged asking if this was about that charity car scam. Yes. Your husband might want to check if his motorcycles are really in storage. Edit 3. Jeffrey got arrested trying to cross into Canada. Turns out, fleeing fraud charges is also illegal. Who knew?